basically is what Kids Inc. has been doing for numerous years, as long as I've been on the board, 15 to 20 years, and we'd just like to continue. It's a little different because the other agreements are 200 days. We're asking for a full year and continuous, renewable. We feel that's necessary so we can get United funding, because we have to be a continuous entity that is in control of our operations to qualify for United Fund funding. So we feel that that's necessary. We discussed this with Ms. Williams and Mr. Getzinger and Mr. Riffle, and it's my understanding there has been a variance approved for this 1 year exception for the Kids Inc.
Tom, I find it hard to believe that you and I were in the same meeting based on your user agreement that you proposed. I felt like once we met and we talked about the 365 days, that's absolutely no problem. I think the city expressed to you that we desire Kids Inc. to continue their operations. We don't want to impede that in any way. And we're willing to do whatever is necessary. Now, as to the rest of your user agreement, I'm at a loss for why you felt it was necessary to change it any further than that. We want what you want, but what we're saying is not in this user's agreement. I can't in good conscience approve this user's agreement.
And the user agreements have to come from our city, from our council, our city manager. That's where all our user agreements come from, this side of the table to you. That's where that is. That's where that's on us to put together that kind of user agreement for each agency that we use, that use those facilities out there. It's not the fact that we don't necessarily agree with things that are in this agreement. It's just the fact that we can't accept an agreement from you and not accept an agreement from every other entity that wants to come and use those facilities. We have to use the same standard agreement to a certain point for each organization.
I understand that. Now then, the big thing that I'm concerned about, and what we want to clarify for the community and for the public, and it will be clarified if we have to do that, we don't want to, is that the $10,000 is being paid, whether it be a utility fee, whatever.
No, if there is a bone of contention over the board at any part of this $10,000, I think it would behoove the city to forgive that in the future. You explained how that came into being during that committee meeting, that was a time when one of your board members approached the city about volunteering to pay for part of the utilities.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a voluntary action on your part. And to say that it's a requirement on your part, I don't think is any longer necessary. So,
well, we appreciate that.
I agree with Mr. Riffle. I think the city is in a position now where the $1 a year is sufficient. I think that was a gentleman's agreement that you guys have upheld for a number of years, because back when times were leaner, the city appreciated and thanked you for that $10,000 a year contribution towards the electrical payments. I'd like to see that thrown out, but keeping in the back of your mind that maybe 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, the city might have to come back and say, we need some help again. I don't see that in the foreseeable future. I'd like to throw that completely out. As far as the scheduling, I remember a letter that I received this summer from you, and it talked about how Kids Inc. had always been and continues to be family-oriented, which I think is wonderful in today's times, and that Monday and Tuesday were typically good days, along with Thursday, because Wednesday was church night and the weekend was family time. So I have no problem with allowing those 3 days for Kids Inc. to continue with their schedule.
Let's clarify on the scheduling, because we have kids representatives in here as well. And part of the rub is the number of teams utilizing this. And we stated during the meeting with you that there was no exclusive right, that there would be nights that may be shared as well. And you understood that and indicated your acceptance of that.
We agreed with that,
But you would have
we said that we wanted priority, and we feel that we should have priority. And from my aspect, because we serve a greater number of youth, and we need that priority. And if we don't have that priority, we are basically going to be kicked to the sideline. That's what typically happens. That has already happened. That's what has got us to this point.
We did not do $25 million in improvements to not do anything with it. Our goal is to fill that sucker up with kids and to reach all kids, Tom. We're not trying to take anything away from Kids Inc. in doing that. But you, as well as I know, there are as many issues when Kids Inc. tries to do the scheduling as there were when city employees tried to do the scheduling. All we're asking is that we do it together and make it fair for everybody, giving Kids Inc. the priority. I'm having trouble understanding which part of you have priority that you're disagreeing with.
Well, we do not. That's why we say we
We're
want
telling
priority.
you, we're giving you priority on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. We're telling you that, Tom.
I'm willing to waive the $10,000. I'm willing to do a year's worth of lease. I'm willing to give in to the 3 days that you guys wanted with the stipulation that we get the balance and the time of those. Those will have to be all acceptable with the other 4 as well as the city manager. And I think you guys can surely negotiate this, and let's just quit bickering and fighting back and forth. We're all about the kids. We don't care about anything. The main thing is we need to get this worked out, and we need to get it worked out in a reasonable manner which is applicable and takes care of both sides.
That's what we were trying to work on, was agreement that all of us could agree to. And that's why I proposed this. That's why I proposed this.
You get a user agreement that stays 365 days before the next city commission meeting.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I'll just have to take it to the board and see if they'll approve it. That's all I can tell you. And our board meeting, the second Tuesday of each month. Now, it is a good organization, and I support it fully. And I think many of you do too. So I'm just asking that we continue to operate and serve this community as we have for 64 years.
I fully appreciate what Kids Inc. does. I think from the bottom of my heart, Kids Inc. is a wonderful program. It's good for all kids, keeps them off the street. And you do exactly the thing you're supposed to do. And there's nobody up here that wants to cause you any harm or deter from your program. We're very supportive. At least I am, and I think I can speak on behalf of the others too. So.
And that's not going to ever change. Kids Inc. is always going to have a place in the city of Woodward.